Yep, cool. Thank you. By the way, welcome, Rory. It's good to see you on. So at the moment, everyone is muted. So I have a little bit of a restriction with my screen, so I can't see who else is on. I know I can see Ashley. Hang on. No, maybe I can. Obviously Rose and Bianca, Rory, Ashley, who's had a haircut. Looks like she's had a haircut. And other Ashley and Elizabeth. And who we have, I can't see all the names. Apologies if I've missed your name. And the amazing John Tommy, who is our special guest tonight. So I'm going to get started. Thank you very much for your patience while my technology skills showed at their worst. So we'll get started with me. For those of you who don't know me, for whatever reason, I'm the Global Lead Facilitator. Rory and I are the two main facilitators that facilitate iLAB. So you would have either been facilitated mostly by me or by Rory. We have had some others in the past. In the future, you will get facilitated by Rory or myself as well at this stage. Very privileged to have John Tommy, who is from Ethos Academy, with us, sharing tonight a little bit about his wisdom, and also he'll be supporting in regards to feedback as well on your promotions. And also Rory can we'll get Rory unmuted as well, and he can support in that area as well. So the idea of tonight is for you to get a little bit of education. I'll share some things with you first, get a bit of education, and also John sharing his wisdom, like I said, and then as many people as we possibly can to get you to come on and share where you're at, preferably from your promotion plan perspective. However, if for whatever reason your promotion plan has not taken off, meaning that you left iLAB and it's still sitting on your piece of paper that you had stuck to your window, or on your PowerPoint that you put together for Roger, that's fine. Let's talk about that and see how we can get you back on track. So before we go any further, I really want to get John to come on, because I think this is really exciting time for us all. I say, as Rory may say to some of you as well, what happens in iLAB is that, you know, there's definite, everyone that goes there are amazing, you know, people that in their own right are looking to take their businesses to another level or starting a business. And it's not unusual to have many in the group that even come along not knowing what their business is going to be, but they're stepping from maybe a job and looking for an opportunity to start something, and they've got a bit of an idea but not sure. And sometimes what they leave with is a business that's nothing like what their idea was when they came in. However, we also have entrepreneurs that come in that shine above others in so many ways, and nearly every one of those have become mentors at iLAB in some way, shape or form. And John came to a program recently with his beautiful lady Solway, and I spoke to John and said, look, I'd love you to come on, in particular the graduates call, and also have him in as a mentor because of what he does. It was really impressive, and rather than me tell you about it, I'm going to actually, John, have you got slides you want to share? Odo, can you unmute John? Otherwise I've got a lip read.
Me and technology. How do I do this?
Okay. I think if Odo hasn't already, he has to make you so that you can go down the bottom. I've got to stop sharing.
Yeah.
And then you should see share screen down the bottom. Have you got share screen next to participants?
No, I don't have.
Can you see me as a big video?
No, I can't.
What can you see? Nobody.
I only see the pictures of everybody. I don't have any faces or anything here.
All right. Well, if we do have a bit of a challenge finding it, I'm not sure how to tell you unless someone else can. Other than that, are you okay? You can talk everyone through it because you know your stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's go. This is what happened. Just to give you a bit of insight of what happens, and everyone else, and some of you may be unaware because you've all attended iLAB, right? The last program I just facilitated, we got struck by lightning. Our communications tower got struck by lightning. It every internet hub in the whole Vision Villas, and it blew televisions up, it blew our projector, and it is amazing, John, how you can actually keep a program running that is technology-based when things like that happen. So that's why we'll just go with it.
Hey, Terry, do you mind giving me just 1 minute with John to see if I can help him?
Yeah, sure. It'd be better to have the visual. Yeah, go for it.
Hey, John, what can you see at the moment? Can you see the screen with all the 9 faces?
Yeah, I can see lots of also not faces. I only see the logo.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any.
Okay. If you grab your cursor and either take it up to the front of the screen, the top of the screen, and there should be a little drop-down menu, or it might be at the bottom of the screen, depending on to see what sort of pops up.
I only have invite and participants and join audio. That's the only thing.
Oh, Terry, make him co-host.
Oh, O'Day has to.
Go to his name. Go to.
Yes, but I'll see if I can do it.
And just, I think you might be able to, Terry. And just click on John's name. It should say make co-host.
No, he's coming up with nothing.
It must be on O'Day.
Can you unmute O'Day, please, so that we can get this happening?
Yes.
Can you make John co-host?
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Go, Rory.
Hey, O'Day.
Yep.
Do you know how to make John a co-host?
So I know, but if I make John the host, I will be not a host again.
No. You just go to his name in participants. So you go across to the side, and on his name there should be like 3 little dots. Or if you just click, even on his picture, and it should say make co-host, not host, make co-host. Do you see that?
No, just make a host. So if I click, if I click
make him host, that's it. Try that. I don't.
Do you want to change the host to John told me?
Yes, please.
I click yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, John, you should be able to go to the bottom of the screen now, and there should be a share screen.
I'm sorry, Rory, it isn't. Maybe I should log off and then go into the meeting again. Try.
No. If you log off, all the meeting will be end.
Because you're a host.
Because you are
Let's
host.
just do it without it.
You just click my name in iLAB, so make me as a host.
I like that. I'm looking at everyone's face laughing at us at the moment. I said, Elizabeth.
I don't see anybody. It's really great.
This is hilarious. It's only because you guys know us that we can laugh.
We're going to talk about communication today.
There we go. There we go, John. You got it.
Oh, yes.
So do that again.
That was just me showing that, every one of us can share your screen. You just have to go line.
That's not John. We need to unshare.
So, John, there should be just a little bar at the bottom or at the top. And if you just take your cursor down or up, there should be a little drop-down thing that
John,
pops up.
Just check your Facebook message. I sent a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I sent a picture where about. So look at the green.
We've got about 2 minutes, otherwise we're going to do it without it.
Yeah, I can talk without having a wait. Now I can visual. Now I can see. Wait.
You can see?
Now I can see. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to share screen, right?
Bring back
the
host to me, so you still can share your screen.
Yeah, but I don't need to share my screen. I don't have any slides.
Okay.
All right, let's talk then. Let's just go, John.
Yeah.
Tell John, make me a host again, ma'am.
Yeah, where do I do that? How do I do that?
Just get my name.
iLAB Bali.
Yeah, iLAB Bali. You're going to manage participant.
Yeah, make host.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
All
Hi,
right.
guys.
God, this is fun. All right, John, over to you.
Yeah. Sorry. So, what are we going to talk?
All right. So I want you to tell us a little bit about what you do and, you know, your coaching and stuff like this, and how that you can, you know, like what you do supports people, and just to give some insights to those that are on the call as to how you can help them if they've got any challenges or...
Yes, basically, I'm an NLP master trainer. I've been doing courses and facilitation and leadership work for a number of years. I train with the best in the field of NLP, and through that, I've got to change my mindset, to say so, because mindset and psychology of how you go around things is really important in everyday life. So that's what I support people with. I just finished a program with 16 students, which are leaders in their field, and changing their mindset to become a better leader in their life will also make them better leaders in their business. So that's basically what I help people with, changing their beliefs about themselves, how to go around things, using communication, and also how we go around words in our heads, because thinking is basically words in our heads, right? And sometimes we use these words in a not congruent way or not a specific good way, and it restricts us from doing the good things. Actually, both developing a plan and finishing a plan is also about thinking, strategy, lots of things that includes mindset. So that's basically me. I'm originally from Denmark. I moved to Norway in 2000. Been in Norway ever since. It's about minus 8 degrees here. So it's compared to Bali, it's a little cold here. But really, and the mentality here in Norway is also very restricted when it comes to the mindset. We tend, not only in Norway, but in some areas, there's very much bad beliefs about themselves and such things. So there's lots of work to do for me here. So that's a good training arena.
Yeah, we spoke about this, John, when you were there, in regards to, you know, like, how do you actually work? And this is for everyone to consider. How do you actually go from a place where your home country is so different and it has restrictions that may not be out there in the market? And, you know, is it the right thing to do from even a mindset point of view? Because sometimes the restriction, even though there are restrictions, but sometimes the biggest restriction is your ability to think bigger than what it is, which is part of what you work around, right? So from the perspective of like you taking what you do out of Norway into other places, how easy or hard is that I mean, obviously there's opportunities everywhere. So how do you believe that, or how easy or hard is it for you to do that yourself?
Well, knowing what I know about my mindset, it's really more catching up on how to think about the things I do. But if I look back in my life, sometimes I do things and I think about it and I just am what I'm thinking. Well, that's not who I am, right? I'm not my thoughts. And if I can dissociate or some kind, just let go of the thinking and look at the thinking I have, it will give me perspective. It will give me something to consider. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Do I need this kind of thinking, or is it supporting me? And that way it doesn't catch me. It doesn't get into me. It's like you can take a thought and you can like, oh, it's here, but you can let it go. You don't need it. It doesn't serve you. So you can select your thinking. And all our thinking patterns is actually choices we make. So we choose which thinking we will have. So if we have like bad thoughts, it's more like a loop. We loop on one bad thought, and it becomes another one, and it becomes another one. And when we look at it in this perspective, it restricts us. The other way around, if you have good thinking, it can also influence in a positive way. So it's more how you go around the thinking, and you know how to do it. And I happen to know about that.
Yeah, so you've been able to get that to support you to see that the potential is greater than Norway for you. Should you choose that you can go outside of Norway and teach what you do. Yeah. Like you said, you could choose to stay there because there's more than enough work for you with the mindsets. But sometimes what's even better is to look outside of what you've got, particularly when you've got, centuries of culture embedded into it, that sometimes the easiest path to take something in a different direction or in a faster direction, I guess, is to actually go outside of what it is that you know so well into a different market. So, and we've obviously talked about that as well.
Yeah. What I think is really important for everybody is that we tend to look at thinking as that's who I am or that's what I am. And we build our identity on these thinking patterns of our culture, where we come from, all these things. But inside of us, there's also another part of us that is not necessarily very in use for people, because this is not a good idea, but he did it anyway, and after felt like this was not what I should have done. This kind of inner conflict is really why. It should come from what you feel like. It should come from what you think you're here for. It shouldn't come from your head. It should come from your heart. And most people I meet basically live their lives from their heads and not from their heart. And it means they are basically dissociated from themselves. And lots of these goals that people put together are not congruent within, because they don't own it, because it's not in their heart. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I think lots of you would also reconsider that if you do it this way and follow just what you're thinking about, you may get wasted at times. You may think this is not a good idea. I know lots of people have lost themselves along the way because they really don't know who they are anymore. And what they are is basically on the inside. So that's how I also coach people. I help people find the true identity within themselves. And that's self-leadership. That's really self-leadership. And to find that self again. And then if you have that big why, which is congruent with who you really are on the inside, it's much easier to go around which tasks to do strategically, go forward, and it will also feel right? And I don't know, most people that really have succeeded in this world have done it this way. Not maybe consciously in the first place, but they followed their heart, and it became a success.
It's quite a common thing, and I know that some of the participants that have gone out of iLAB have gone, in the process, it is about, in particular, those that have had the privilege of having Paul Dunn mentoring in your session, had the ability to be able to step into that why a little bit more and go into the heart as opposed to the head. And what happens, and I know this does happen, is that they get that while they're at iLAB, but as soon as they leave, they tend to go back into their head. So, they go back into their like their cultures or their towns or whatever, the same people that they left. They've got a whole new group of people that they've just associated with, but then a week or 2 weeks later, they're back into the old way of thinking, the old way of being. The head comes up, the head's, the conscious mind saying one thing, the subconscious mind saying something else, and it's this, like you said, this inner conflict, and it makes it really challenging for those, to follow the process that we set up, because as you know, John, and I've said this to everyone that's attended iLAB, and so would Rory, is that if you think you've come to iLAB to find out how to do everything, you're in the wrong place. Do we teach you that? Absolutely. You're going to get lots of help, but you've actually come along to find out who you really are. And everyone that has been would surely know that. And I think that's the bit, this is why I wanted you to come on in particular, because so many leave and they lose that. They lose that ability to be authentic and just go back to being what they think people want them to be. Make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's much easier to be the person you've always been than to change things and try to become something more than you were. And to be more than your history is really important. And to see that growth is dependent on if you are willing to let go of your past and explore new things in order to find the real why. Maybe you found some whys, that's why I'm doing it, but not why I'm here. I remember Roger often talks about this as well, when he talks about why are you here? And it's not about why am I here in this place, in this moment, but why I'm in this life, why am I here? Much bigger picture. What's my mission? What do I want to contribute with? What's my purpose of being here? And it's in here. It's in the heart. And you will surely find it if you haven't found it already. And this is like ignition. It's like on fire. You can go forever here. And this will not put that light out. It would not, what do you call it? The fire will never stop. So it's really important to find that big why.
Yeah, and I think that that's, like I said, this is the reason why I've brought you on, because I want to make sure everyone is aware that majority of what does happen, that the lack of action for some, and it's a credit to everyone who's taken amazing action, as I know some of you have. But, these calls, these webinars are as well, is to be able to support people that are sitting back in the background, they're showing up to things, but they're still not taking the action that's required. And like I said, it's because they've gone from one environment where they become their authentic selves to a degree, probably not fully, but to a degree, into a world where, like I said, they let influences come back in. So I think that's really, really important. And I thank you for sharing that because, it is one of the biggest blocks. It's, Roger's, at most of the programs now, we play Roger's video, and it's, what are the 3 biggest blocks that'll stop you getting value out of iLAB. And he doesn't even mention this side of it, because it's not at iLAB that it's a problem. It's when you leave. It's when you're there, you're in a community, you're in an environment where it's so easy to make those changes. Like I said, it's going outside of that into an environment where those same people aren't following you. Unless you've come with a partner who hopefully you hold each other accountable. But anyway, thanks, John, for sharing. Sorry to make it a little bit briefer, but I do want to give everyone an opportunity to, share where they're at. And you, Rory, and I, where we can, will be giving advice on where they're at. So if all of you can please go in and type into the chat box so that Ode can let me know who wants to go first. I'll just share my screen again so that now my technology is going to come into place. Let me hope this is it. Yeah, whoa, that was easy. Okay, so what you'll be doing, this says promotion plans, and without any doubt, that's the idea. The idea of these monthly webinars is for accountability, to help accountability and feedback. So it's to make sure you know that it's a safe environment to tell us what's happening, regardless whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Now, I will say without any doubt, there's always a win. There's always something positive that's happened, even if things have gone off track. So what I want you to share is 3 things. Write them down, because I am going to take the screen off so we can see your faces, and we will make sure Rory's unmuted. Your biggest win, your biggest challenge, and your biggest focus at the moment. So, for example, your biggest win could be that you finally quit your job that you had. The biggest challenge is at the moment, I know I set my promotion plan up at iLAB, and I was meant to quit my job 6 months ago and I didn't, so I haven't got momentum. I need to start again. So my biggest focus at the moment is my promotion plan, but I might need to shift it. That's an example of the sort of thing you can be sharing if you are off track with your promotion. So are you there, Rory?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. So we're just going to make sure we can see everyone as they speak. Let me have a look. Who is...
Ashley will be going first.
Ashley. Yeah, cool. Unmute Ashley and let him speak. So there's 2 Ashleys, male and female, but male Ashley. Hey Ash, how you doing? Not there? Is he unmuted, Odo?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how
Hello.
are you? How are you going?
I'm good. Good. Yeah, really good. I've got a share.
Good to see you on again. Yeah, it's a bit of a bad signal, but yeah, that's better. Let's keep talking. All right.
Can't hear him, Terry.
No. We might have to come back to you, actually, because we can't really hear you.
Really bad signal.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a bad signal. We might just, Odo, can we just mute Ash for now, and we'll go on to who's next, and we'll bring him back on and see if we can get it sorted. John, you've got a question from Suzanne.
Rose,
So we'll unmute Suzanne and get John to answer that. She can ask that in person.
Can you hear me now?
We'll come back to you, Ash. We'll just go on to Suzanne's. We'll come back in a moment after this.
All right, I'll mute.
Thank you. All right, Odo, Suzanne, can you please unmute her?
Who? It's Royce.
She's unmuted. Hello. We already know you're technically advanced. We've seen your results of that. All right, ask away for John.
I use Zoom quite a lot, so I know how to deal with these things. But I know that John is also a passion test facilitator, I think. So, and I'm using very much the passion and the dynamic, and then getting into the bigger why as 2 channels to get into to talking about the bigger why. So I was a little bit curious about how John is using them, because you're the only one I know who works with those tools, actually.
Yes. Actually, I'm not a passion test facilitator.
Okay, I thought so.
It's a misunderstanding, but I have used the passion test in another way, because it's about values. It's about what's on the inside. The passion issue is like the ignition on the inside, right? So when I use this, I use it like, what's the most important things in your life? What's the feeling that carries you? And if I go to my values, for instance, it's like freedom is important to me, love is important to me, and some other things are important to me. Now, do I live my life in a specific way where I use this, where I offer love, freedom for other people and for myself? So I basically live the passions on the inside. I give it to myself, for me to be able to give it to others. So it's if you don't serve your own values or your own passions, you're able to support other people in having them as well. If you don't love yourself, if you don't give yourself love, you won't be able to love other people the same way, right? So it's like how you go around the values. So values and passions are it's a word that I use often in NLP, and it's really basically the same thing when it comes to passion. So that's how I use it, Suzanne, and combine it with the VD or teledynamics or in understanding your profile. Well, you have to understand that your energy when it comes to teledynamics, you know what your energy is and where you love to be, but it's not the same as you go into the other energies or understanding how to go around it. You just have to serve your own energy level the right way. So that's how I use these things together. I know freedom is important to a creator. I'm a creator. So I have to make space for myself as a creator. If I don't do that, I would distinguish. I would lose my fire. So it's really important. I don't know if it's answer to your question, but it's the closest I can come to it.
Cool, thanks, John. Yes, go on. We won't. Oh, hang on. We've got to unmute Suzanne again, or you can unmute yourself. We haven't finished. Ode?
Yes, Rose, you can show up now.
No. Suzanne,
No?
can you?
Oh, Suzanne.
Can you? Ode, can you please follow the chat? Because if you read down the bottom, Suzanne's not finished.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. I didn't think that I was sharing like such, but I just had some questions that I just thought would be nice to raise. Mostly, I was just following the talk with Michelle from an hour ago, and she talks about something that I've been wondering about. What are the right energies to use for mentoring? I'm wondering about because I'm trying to make my week scheduled after the different energies, and I'm a Blaze person mostly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about what are the right times to do my mentoring. Actually, should it be the Blaze days, which I'm actually doing a lot of webinars also, or would it be the tempo days that would be perfect for mentoring? Is that different from each person? Can you maybe some of you know a little bit about that?
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I was also wondering about if you had some knowledge or something you can share about personal compasses, because that might be actually my win, that I'm working with my new employee and I really want to support her and make a personal compass for her about her. I'm really trying to make her use the promotion plans and teaching her how to do the promotion plans, and she's struggling a little bit with it, but I think it makes sense that I try to get this structure with her. So, but then I just thought about this also, the personal compass, that would be nice to hear about. And then I have this question that I asked in the Facebook group also about how to change promotion plans in a good way without feeling like you're a failure because you didn't succeed with your promotion plan.
All right.
I am actually, I didn't reach the levels that I had hoped for, but then on the other hand, I did a lot of other stuff in a bigger scale, so it's okay. I wouldn't have a time to do the stuff that I'm asked to do if I had too many people to mentor, so it's quite okay. Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I'm going to start off and then I'm going to... Blaze Day, I go into his energy when I'm coaching him because that makes more sense for me. So I set up either like Dynamo or Blaze Day for my my level of mentoring, and I'll get Rory to add in what he does for his. But it works for me, and it always has done. And that's because that is my energy. It's easier for me to go in, but I'm highly trained, and I know how to easily slip into the energies of others as well. So it's not me just being blazy all the time as a mentor, even though it is my blaze day, if that makes sense. So in regards to the compass, I'll let Rory talk a little bit about that. What was your final question? It was about your, sorry, should have written it.
There was something about the personal compasses and then changing promotion plans.
Oh, changing promotion plans. Let me tell you, and I'm talking to everyone at the same time, 80% of first promotion plans don't work. You know what? That is cool, because you know the process. And it's not that it's not the right strategy. It's just that it can be a number of things that can stop that happening. Now, as much as possible, we don't want to change. So we're actually moving from one to another. We want to actually be able to transition from one into another. So it's not actually, it's like the creator style of doing things is, oh, here's another idea. And not to just pick on creators, but that's generally how it happens. I've got this idea, oh, that's not going to work, I'll go and do this now. It's actually taking something that you put the time into, and if it hasn't worked for whatever reason, just transition it into something new. But be okay that it didn't work. Just make sure that you move, you move that in. And it's good that you've recognised it too, Suzanne. So now, in particular, because Rory was your facilitator, I'm going to get him to add a bit more value to that. Thanks, Rory.
No worries, Terry. So what specifically do you want me to share with Suzanne?
Well, the first one was about the best energies to be a mentor in, which, I mean, obviously you're Dynamo and Blaze, so you're going to have a different perspective of what days are you more inclined to mentor in, or are you like me that you tend to do it on your day, but you actually go into the energy of the client. And she wanted to know about her compass and also changing promotion plans. So just a little bit on each so that we can go on to the next person after that.
In terms of mentoring, so I deal with, like, being in the health realm, I deal with a lot of different personalities. I've got very still-based, details-orientated people. I've got the very blazy, supportive people. And I think naturally what I find that I do now is I'll sort of test the energies in terms of myself to see which one creates the biggest impact. So as an example, I was working with a lady today, and she was very blaze energy, like talking. She knew everything. But she had been for about 10, 15 years. So I went into this very steely, very direct energy, but from a place of permission. And that sort of really got the impact with her. So I think the big thing here is to go back to the vector cards. I think that's a really cool tool that can help guide you here, so that you can look at what energy is needed. But then when you're mentoring, I think and Susan, you know this probably more than most people working with artists, but you have to really feel it out, because sometimes, you'll get people on a very, they might be a still-based creator. I mean, they might be a still-based person. They might be very creative and flighty. And you'll get them in a particular mood on a particular day. And you've really just got to go with the flow of that energy and really feel it out as a mentor. So you might have to bounce between the two. I don't know if you agree with that, Terry, but that's something that I personally find.
Yeah, look, that's what I was saying. I mean, I'm obviously in my energy, so my coaching is set generally on the days, but I definitely bounce between the energy of the clients that I'm working with. Because, even if I have sometimes got a client that is blazy and they need steel time, they need steel mentoring, for me to go, I can do it as you could, Rory, because obviously we're trained in this. But, for some others, it's a lot harder to go, oh, now I need to mentor someone on something more steely based. In which case, if you've got clients that are more steely, on a steel side in some respects, and you're not experienced at how to transition energy to energy, is to be able to actually do it on your steel day. I think that's probably the earliest advice until you get like you said, the vector cards help massively, but it's just understanding that, we've got to, it's like Roger says, don't focus on your product, focus on your customer. We have to understand the customer. We've got to be actually solving their problem, and that's them being them, as opposed to us being us in our energy. So that's, I agree.
100%.
And I kind of get that because I also, you know, being a flow consultant, that, you know, I do know how to debrief in the different energies and how to go around that. And it's quite interesting to do the different ways, actually. I was just wondering because I really wanted my week to get more into the energies. What weeks should I actually plan my
Gotcha.
So
okay.
What days should I mentor in? And I there's different answers to that, actually.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, Roger sets a bit of a rhythm for how his week is, and we sort of send you off from iLAB and say that's, you know, that's a really good rhythm to hold. And I guess the key thing there is that each day you've got particular energy. So for me personally, I start my week with the detail, because it's like, you know, the Brian Tracy thing. It's like eat that frog. I hate finances. I hate detail. So I do all my project management, all my financial management on a Monday, and then I'll just follow the rhythms as we've set up, you know, in the book, and also what we've shared on the pages. So I think, you know, it goes from a steel day into, you know, I think Wednesday's more of a Y-based water day. I think Roger does his blaze day on a Thursday or something like that. So you can follow that rhythm in your own way, and you just got to find what really works for you, because, you know, everyone's lifestyle circumstance is different. You have involved, you know, there might be so many other factors going on. So you have to find what really works for you. And also I find that, you know, for me, like, I don't need a whole day doing steel. So I'll start Monday with steel, but then the afternoon, a lot of my work is consulting, health consulting, right? So what I've actually set up is each of my afternoons, I'm actually doing consulting. And for whatever reason that works for me. So I've got a little bit of blaze-based consulting from 2 to 6 every single day. But, you know, Monday will start off as a steel day, and I'll have those sort of elements as themes, just to make sure that each week I'm tapping into those energies. I'm making sure that those parts of my business, my enterprise, aren't being forgotten. But if you're like 80% consultant based, then 80% of your time is going to be with people. Yeah. So if you know, you can't really put all that into one day. Roger might be able to do it because he's got, you know, group mentoring and those things set up, and he's obviously at a blue level where he's managing multiple teams. But for someone like yourself that might be more of a consultant, you might have to, you know, shift it into multiple days. Would you agree with that, Terry?
Yeah, I agree fully. All right. The other, just a couple more quick, if you can give a couple of quick answers. One, Suzanne said about working with someone that's working with her and getting her to do promotion plans themselves, and trying to, you know, encourage that person to do promotion plans, but they're not really getting it. Is there potential to create, like, have a personal compass, or how do you work with that?
Yeah, so personal compass, I think, you know, John really touched on this before. Like, the personal compass for me is this internal dialogue. So it's, you know, the values, the passion, the purpose, you know, all those things that help me make decisions. And I think that's something that you can translate to anyone, Suzanne. But the next step is, you know, the magnification of that, and how do they put that passion and purpose into something that can exchange value for someone that they actually want to solve a problem for. And I guess that's where, you know, a promotion, I guess, comes into it, because people are learning to promote themselves or their product or their service, or they're leveraging someone else, right? And adding their value to that. So the first thing there is, you know, help them get clear on the personal compass, which I know you've got the skills for. All the tools are out there for that as well. Anyone can do that and walk people through it. And then the second step is to help someone with a promotion. And like Terry said, 80% of people haven't yet done a successful promotion, and I'm still learning. Do you know what I mean? Because they're things that get refined and get better over time. So the first thing to do would be to do a successful promotion plan yourself, and then it's like to teach. It becomes easier to teach someone once you've done a successful one, and then you can actually reflect back on the challenges you had, and also connect with other people that have done promotions to help that person then do a promotion plan as well. Or, you know, as a passion test facilitator, you could direct them to an iLAB or something like that. That could be the connection with actually go and then work on their own promotion plan as well, and then you come back and consult off the back of that. So they would be the two options I would assume there, just in that process. Any thoughts, Terry?
Yeah, and no, I think you just nailed the third one too, which is about you know, changing promotions. Like, one didn't work, so changing to another, and that is, you know, it's like you said, get one successful first. But my advice on that was to transition from one to another. Don't jump. So don't jump from one to the other, completely different. And if I can, we've taken a little bit more time on this because I think this is relevant to everyone. But the thing is that it's understanding that a promotion never stops. It's just because you've got you come up with an idea and you've got a timeline. It's just the time to achieve. It's a point. It's a milestone you're achieving at that time. But we don't go, well, that was 90 days that we achieved it. All right, it's finished now. It actually keeps going because it's built up enough momentum to keep going. So what we do, we have something that's running successfully. We introduce another promotion and then that gets run. So because the first one's already got momentum and it becomes mainstream in your business, then you can, as one person doing one promotion, introduce something else yourself. Not until, like Rory said, you're in a position that you've done them successfully yourself, can you have a team of people doing them for you. Because it's like we've got to, as even like Rory and myself, as facilitators, we've got to be able to walk the talk. You know, we've got to be able to get the experience ourselves and be authentic enough, you know, to actually go, hang on, you know, I haven't done this at this level and I'm still learning too. And this, you know, for all of us, I think anyone, even at Roger's highest level of Simone and Michelle and that, they have promotion plans that don't go to plan, you know, and it's think it, ink it, do it, review it. You know, what's the idea? Put it down on paper, take action with it, and review it all the way along. If you're not passionate about it, then that's the sort of thing that, you know, like obviously you need to consider when you're putting together another plan, is make sure it's what you're passionate about. So without any doubt, this is advice for everyone. So hopefully that's helped you, Suzanne, and you can, and everyone else as well. Because like I say, we're not just talking to Suzanne, we're talking to everyone. And sometimes Rory and I are talking to ourselves because meaning that
sometimes we do.
Well, the teacher teaches what they need to learn, right? This goes without doubt. And that goes for each and every one. You know, we put more emphasis on things in, whether it be an iLAB or our general businesses or coaching. I know if I've got something going on in my business, I tend to put more emphasis on that in my clients. So I'm teaching the stuff that I need to actually get the result for myself as well. And my client goes, wow, that was a really good session. And I go, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because I just got it. So, you know, make that relevant for everyone. Cool.
Hey, Terry, can I just share something in a minute that might just round that up for everybody?
Yeah, we've only got 10 minutes left, though, and I do want to see if we can get a couple more on. If it takes you a minute, do it. Sure. Yeah, go.
Yes. So we all, I think one thing that we've shared a lot is how we talk about picking up one arrow, right? So, you know, Roger talks about Arjuna and he picks up one arrow and he shoots at a specific target. I know, Suzanne, we've talked about this many times, and Rose and everyone else, but, you know, imagine this is your arrow. And John's really touched on the internal compass, which is, I guess, where I'm holding his pen, which keeps this thing balanced, and it helps you like get clarity and direction, right? So if you don't have clarity of purpose and passion and your why and your values and all that type of stuff, then you might pick up multiple arrows and lose focus and eventually, you know, not actually do anything. So if you've got that clarity in that internal compass, and then you choose a what, which is essentially your niche market, or that one customer that you want to serve and that you know that you can solve a problem for better than anyone else, then, you know, you choose the what. And then the simplicity is to then create some urgency and create it by when, which is essentially the promotion plan. So I want to help 10 people within 3 months, or I want to help 100 people, right? And then what happens is the who and the how show up. So Roger talks about, and Terry as well, is that you then get the bow, which is the thing that gives it leverage, which allows you to actually shoot in that direction and actually impact the people you care about. Now, your first promotion might be right. You might have your personal compass aligned. You might have the what and the when, like the perfect, right? But you might have the wrong bow. So the who and the how might be wrong. So you might have got the wrong person to help you, or you might not have asked for it, or you might have tried to do it all by yourself still. So the thing is that promotion, you need to figure out whether the arrow and the internal compass is correct, and whether it's actually solving the problem for the customer that you really deeply want to serve, not just for now, but for a long time. And then if that's right, then, and you're still not getting any traction, then maybe find a different who and a how, and then continue that promotion for the first 3 months. Then the second 3 months, the second 3 months might be asking a different person for support or advice. And all of a sudden you find you impact 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people. And then you keep that promotion going. And then only once you've got, you know, like the impact scale going from, you know, 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 or whatever it is you're doing, then maybe create a second value stream and do a completely different promotion. But hopefully that helps and adds a bit of clarity to that, Terry.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Rory. And thanks, Suzanne. So what we're going to do now is get Ashley back. Hopefully he's still there. If everyone's okay, if we just go a little bit over, I do want to give Lisa a chance as well to be able to share with us. So
I'll try. I might have
give
to
it a
turn
go.
the video.
Give it your best shot.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
that's okay. Just yep.
Okay. So the biggest thing I've learned is, because when I went to iLAB, I was infrared and working with iLAB, and I was trying to start a business. You know, I didn't know what it was. I just wanted to help people. And I really found that, you know, through trial and error, that I really, just like John said, needed to work out who I was. And actually not who I thought people wanted me to be, but who I was and what actually mattered to me. So I've just, in the last couple of days, I've just actually got a position and started work in a field where I got hired for me, not for my skills, not for my, you know, what I've done or what I could do, just for me. So I'm a homeless support worker. So I help people with their goals, and very, very quickly, I'm learning that it's not about, it's about them, and a person has to be ready and willing to. It's got to be their decision to move forward. There's a gradual process that someone coming off the street into, you know, support, and then where they want to transition and move into their own home, get a job. And just, yeah, in the last couple of days, just the natural conversations that I've had, because I'm a supporter profile, magnifier, but I was always trying to help everyone else before I actually looked at myself. I was trying to tell everyone exactly what they needed to do, because as you said, Terry, it's that conversation when you are coaching someone and you're really trying to get the point across. That's usually for you. It's you, and so yeah. After all that, it's like, who do I need to become to, you know, for people to want to work with me? You know, like that attraction. You know, to get the, you know, the action, then traction, then attraction. And then first off, it had to be, I needed an environment which was already set up, so I could actually start to get my flow. And now I'm just naturally building relationships and finding the networks within that, where I can refer people and actually do it the right way. But it's it was so I've had it's a full-time gig. I love it. I actually go to work, I come back, and I'm like, what? This is my life now, because I tried to be someone else, and I tried to, you know, be this superstar, and it wasn't sustainable. So yeah, passion, purpose, but also accountability, you know, holding myself to account and going, well, look, if I do not have my finances, but, you know, my personal finances in control, then no one's going to listen. No one's going to want to work with me, you know. And it's like, now I step up. It's like, who do I need to be? I need to have my health. I need to, you know, I need to look presentable. I need to have organization. Like, who is it that I need to be to actually impact these people, not by words, but just by the environment, by the example I set. And so it's a natural unfolding process. But I get to be me, but it's a learning. It's learning that you don't have all the answers. And it's one thing to talk it; it's another thing to actually, you know, to live it.
Yeah. Thanks, Ash. All I want to say to you first up, I mean, not all, but what I want to say more first and foremost is congratulations. Like, I mean, how long has it taken for that to happen? And so many of us have been through it. So, you know, it's not like Ashley was going through his own little journey that no one's experienced before, because what he's been going through, and he's got enough courage to be able to actually sit there and tell us, is what so many of us have gone through, and some of you are still going through. And I think the relevance there in particular is that you're 100% right. It's like the star out of flow shines the light back on themselves as opposed to others, because that's then it's poor me, it's all about me, it's everyone else's fault, blah, 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 you know, same thing. And it's like, why aren't I getting the work? You know, why is no one coming to me? And it's like, for you as a supporter, you were so trying to support and help and do everything the way you thought you needed to without actually being the supporter, meaning that who is Ashley? You know, who's this guy that has spoken so passionately about being able to support people and you know, the homeless. And by the way, I hope everyone did get that he's not homeless, that he supports homeless. So, you know, is to be able to see that from that perspective and know that what we do, we allow ourselves to spiral and be on that treadmill in infrared for so long that it's not until you just get so sick and tired, and hopefully you do, that you actually step out of that, where you get to that phase where it's just like an awareness, and you know, it's enough is enough, that subconscious conscious, you know, they start matching up together, where it's, so you are who you are. So who do you need to be is who you authentically are, Ash, because you already were it, but you just weren't living into it. Now you're living into it. And that is so cool. And I'm so happy that you have done that, because yeah, it takes most people longer. So it's, I mean, it's a good awareness when you've come from that real foundation, and, you know, admitting your infrared is the best thing people can do. So many people are too scared to even say that term, infrared. Hey, it's a victim. I lived a life of a victim. You've lived a life of a victim. Most of us have done it. To step out of that is a credit to you. So I want to congratulate you more than anything. And they're very blessed. These people are very blessed to have you. The real Ashley has shown up. So well done.
Well, thank you. Just last but not least, in Roger's video, it says, you know, the steps to build a business. And the first is go find out who's doing it. Yeah. And go work for them. Go partner with them. So you learn the processes. So you're not doing it all on your own, trying to figure it out and thinking you've got the best thing, and then partner with them, get your name out there, you know, use that as a platform, and then you've got, you know, you've already got the relationships, and, you know, you're known in the industry, and you know the process. It's sometimes it's dropping the idea that I know what to do. Okay, I've got to get back. I've got to, you know, let's find out. Let's find out who's in flow. And this company, they share ideas. The trust and the flow involved with the company is amazing. They let you try your own ideas. There's no rush. I mean, the synergistic, like, just the heart of this company, and everyone contributes, and just to have that, where I was getting people working for me. I was a flow consultant. I was getting PAs to work for me, but I wasn't ready. They were a blue, like at least an orange, yellow level operator, and I couldn't sustain that. You know, so it's like, yeah, you've just, who did I need to become? So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well done. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, because it's so relevant to everyone, Ash. So thanks for that. We'll see you on the next one. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So is everyone okay if we just go like 5 or so minutes over, so we can give Lisa a go? She's been waiting there patiently in the background. So Ode, can you, the others also I'll just briefly mention at the end, but if we can unmute Lisa would be awesome. Thank you. And mute Ash.
Who, ma'am?
Lisa.
Yeah. First, I wonder Ashley, his kind, because I was in iLAB together with Ashley, and it's a lovely thing that I came back to the old feeling being in iLAB, because it's like I'm in Scandinavia right now, and it's cold and it's snow, but it's like I came to the warm iLAB feeling. Well, what is happening now? I'm in the process of launching my first online course. And it is how could I say, it's a little bit scary. It's an 8-week course about meditation. It's 9 videos, 9 audios, and 9 articles. And then I was wondering how much should it cost? And then I ended up in $147.
Yeah.
For the 8-week course, and then upsell $47, second upsell $67, and downsell $74. And now it's like it's almost running. I have a website. I can share it with you if somebody is interested.
How about you going, if you want to put that on the Facebook group, the iLAB Global, that'd be awesome.
It's here. My team is Academist, but it's not.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, if anybody wants to check it. So that's what is happening right now.
That's so awesome. And the thing about launching anything new, or launching, in particular, something online, and this is what I had to learn the hard way. Roger said to me in the very beginning, when I was looking to launch my program, which is it was a series of videos and interviews and mentoring and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a mixture of, a combination of things. Is Roger said, don't ever think, number one, that someone else out there is not already doing it. You're just bringing a uniqueness to it. It's your, what's your number of very special things that you're adding into it for quoting Paul Dunn, or what's your irresistible offer? Why is it a no-brainer? Usually the first no-brainer when you launch something is to make it so irresistible through price. Because if you do it as, I'm launching this program and I'd love you to be the first however many you are putting into each program that you're launching, and out of that I'm not doing it at this price again, so my next program is going to be double or triple this. Why I'm doing it at this price is because I love your feedback. I love your testimonials for it, but I'm guaranteeing you're going to get so much value, you will be telling others. So you're launching it at a no-brainer price. If you do it from, it's like Paul Dunn also says, when you run a webinar or web event, as he calls them, is never make them free. Always have a small price, because people don't value what is free. It doesn't matter what the price is, if it's a no-brainer to do it. Free is not always a no-brainer. It's too easy to opt out. But if it's got a price attached to it, and that potentially it's worth a lot more in the future, then that's your beginning. So people are going to go, well, it's not a lot, 8 weeks. If I work that out over 8 weeks, that's only X amount per week. It's almost like a no-brainer. Like it's one of those things, we'll do it, right?
Yes.
Make sense?
This is excellent advice. So what about if I made it 97 to make it lower?
Don't make it too low is what I would say, because if you drop the price too much, then it really does devalue it. And the thing is, if you make it 97 now, but in the future you're looking at charging $8.97, see, there's too much of a gap. So you sort of work out, if you look at what others in the market are charging, and this is what happened with my program. Roger said, what are other people charging for something similar that you want to do? And I said, well, I've actually charged $2,500 for 7 sessions before. Yeah. And he said, so you're not doing that now because you're not in that same capacity. What are other people charging? And I said, well, they're probably charging, $1,200 or $1,300. And then he said, well, make it under $1,000. So then I went from $9.97, $8.97, because I thought, well, what am I going to make it? If I dropped it any lower than, say, $8.97, and then I want to introduce it for the next program at $12.97, if I drop it to $6.97, it's too much of a gap.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that it's like whatever you're offering, you're looking at now, that if you're going to increase it, which you should, that it doesn't jump too much. Does that make sense?
That makes very, very good advice. It's like lovely.
147 is not a lot.
Okay.
So it's not a problem with the people purchasing. It's a problem with you. It's you getting in your mindset that you're worth that, Lisa.
Yeah, I think it feels good. And then because I have the feeling it's going to run really well in the future. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, and as providing you are solving a problem, then you're going to get people paying it easily. But make sure if it is at a reduced rate that you are getting something from them out of it, like a video testimonial or a written testimonial or something. So then you can use that to promote it next time. Does that make sense?
Oh, very good advice. Very good advice.
I'm glad.
A lot of good advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for that. And apologies for those that I haven't been able to get to. Ashley Erb, I know that we said that every time you're on, you need to speak up next time. You put your hand up and we didn't get to you. So what I would like is in particular for those of you that didn't get a chance to speak up, if you could go and put the whatever it is into the Facebook group, and I will respond to you separately so that I can help you through that. And also, make sure you put, if you're on the web event next time, that you put your name up first. So, because this can happen where we'll get in a bit of a flow with someone or a couple of people because it's so relevant to everyone in the group. So where it may be, it seems like so much time's been taken with one person, it's actually a message for everyone. And you should always be listening as though we're speaking to you and not just a person that like Lisa for now or Suzanne or Ashley. So Ode, can you just make sure everyone is muted? And I'm just going to finish this for now. Thank you everyone as well for being patient and staying on for that little bit longer. It's always good to give as much as feedback as possible. And we could, as you know, we could keep going forever with this because there's obviously so many opportunities for us to support you. But please do take everything that is shared as how does this relate to me? And in particular what John shared, because I think what John does, and this is why I wanted him to come on, we've been talking about it for a little while now, it's because that's the biggest block for most people is your head. It's like your heart and your head not communicating correctly and not doing what you need it to do in order for you to get the results. And it's like your heart knows, but your heads keep telling yourself something different. So you've got all these thoughts and feelings that are, conflicting with each other. And that's probably the most important part of leaving is knowing that that's what still needs work. And I know that there's a lot of people that are on this call, even that like Marlene, and different ones that work with this as well that can support you. And this is the awesome part about and relevant to the page I'm on at the moment, the iLAB Global Entrepreneurs. There's so many of you that can help in these areas, and you need to be sharing what you're doing onto that page because it is one of the biggest challenges is our mind and our heart and, being in passion, being in joy, being in purpose. And please share what you do onto that page. Thanks, Marlene. I know what you did for me, so I'm really respectful of that as well. So on that note, please, you should all be in this group, obviously, but please go in and share everything you're doing as in programs coming up, ask any questions, tag Rory, myself, whoever, John, Marlene, anyone, tag into that post if you want specific people to answer, and we'll support you in every way we possibly can. The next webinar, web event, Paul Dunn, is the Tuesday 13th of March at 5 p.m. I will be back in Bali. We've got an iLAB for property entrepreneurs starting in the beginning of March. So I'll be back in Bali for that one. So looking forward to that again. And as many of you may know, Rory's over there now as well. So he lives over there. On that note, I would like to get Ode to unmute everyone so that we can all say goodbye. And once again, thank you for your patience. And hi, Ilaria. It's good to see you on the call because Ilaria's only she's not unmuted yet. We've been kept muted. She's just attended the last program. So it's also awesome to see you on.
Thank you
and
so
John
much.
Stringer, who comes back on many times, Anna Marie.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Sultan. Sultan.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
See you soon again in Bali.
Yeah, see you in a
Thank you,
I'm
Rory.
in Singapore
Ah, cool. You look
in the big in the Grand Hyatt right now.
Oh, awesome.
Bye from London. Cool, cool.
Cool, cool.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right.
Well
Bye,
done.
Sultan.
Bye. Bye, Mom.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Ade.
Unshare now.
Bye, Mali. Bye, Mama.
Thanks, Ade. Thank you, Ade.